in for legs. Today is the first time that you're seeing. I've done it once before. This is the second time doing the session. I haven't hack squatted since 2020. The last time I did a hack squat was my 2020 prep. I moved over to doing either the pendulum or the Smith machine squat because of my knees. As I've gotten stronger with my quads through doing the other movements, they didn't hurt. My knee doesn't hurt as much. I definitely just used to go too heavy. That was the problem. I went too heavy, and that was why I couldn't do the hack squat. Obviously, you're probably going to laugh at the amount of load that I use, but I will have good control, I will have good depth, I will not use a reverse band, and I'll try and get some even bigger quads in the process as well. So yeah, I'm very much excited to show you it. It's a little bit more quad focused compared to what I was doing before. So we have some dedicated real quads days and glutes and hamstring days now. So that's really nice rather than it being all kind of glutes and hams focused. Not that obviously my quads got smaller, but my glutes and hams are starting to come up now, which is nice. So going to just have more focus on quads days and more focus on glutes and hams on glutes and hams days. So that's the reason we split it out a little bit. Also, it also means that I can train with Cuba in this session and Mark, which is nice to get another little bit of a push and whatnot. So I'm excited. Back into a surplus as well. So that means that hopefully I'm feeling a little bit stronger, because obviously towards the back end of the prep was feeling a little bit less strong. So hopefully we can move some more numbers compared to last session and just see how we get on. But I will take you along the ride to all the exercises. We've got two sets here. This is on the new prime piece. The first set we do mid to lengthened range, and then the second set we do lengthened range. The lengthened range setting is definitely much easier on that than obviously having it both mid and lengthened. So yeah, that's what we've done for the first exercise. Going to move on to line hamstring curl now. I'm actually unsure whether Kuba wants me to do 3 sets or 2 sets. While I was in my diet phase, I was just doing 2 sets rather than 3 sets, just because of obviously recovery demands are a little bit different when you are in a kind of diet phase compared to a off season where there are more foods. But we'll obviously see, because I've only just gone into a surplus, so we'll see what Kuba wants to do, because there's a few exercises where volume was supposed to be a little bit higher last time, but it was lower because of being in a diet. So we'll just see, and I'll keep you posted. we've got hamstring curls as our second exercise. Got 2 sets here. I am going to be progressing on to 3 eventually when I'm a little bit heavier and a little bit stronger on other lifts, just because then obviously we can get away with a little bit more volume once that starts to happen, post the little diet, which obviously, like I just said, we've only just come out of. So here, what we're trying to think is making sure that we get full extension without it really knackering my knees. For me personally, I can't straighten my knees out fully because of the issues that I do have with my knees. So if you don't have issues with your knees, don't copy what I'm doing. Get full extension before you drive back through. Next exercise is the leg extension. For me, I'm going for more of a higher rep because obviously my knees feel a lot better than what they were, but I still have issues with my knees. So I do have to be careful. If I was to smash my knees quite heavily on this exercise, my next exercise, which was the squat, I would definitely go into it with a lot of pain, which I don't want. So not that this is a pump exercise in any means, but it is a higher volume with a pause at the top and at the bottom. For now, we're still just doing 1 set on here. Eventually, as I get a little bit stronger, as I get a little bit heavier, we will move on to 2 sets. But for now, this level of, or this amount of leg extension is definitely good enough for me right now for where I am post my diet. In a couple of weeks, once my body weight's a little bit heavier, my body weight is still the same as what I finished my diet at last week, even though my calories were higher, so that's why we bumped them again today. Once my body weight starts to get that little bit higher, we will start to take a little bit more of a volume increase. But for now, it's going to remain the same.
Show me now. There you go. Strong now. Try it. Try. That's it.
Get an extra 10 kilos, obviously with 5 kilos aside, and matched, well, sorry, did one less rep than last time. But I think that my tempo was better, I think my depth was better, I think that my pause at the bottom was better, I wasn't waiting as long at the top. They just felt a little bit more comfortable this time compared to last time, because obviously last time was my first time doing them. So if something doesn't feel quite right the first time you do it, give it another go, because more than likely you'll just get a little bit more comfortable the more times you do it. So I'm looking forward to building that up. I felt good in there. I felt like I could build up my strength, which is obviously a really nice feeling to have, because I just felt very strange doing that last time, but it was the first time doing it in such a long time. It's got to be expected. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can do on that, and hopefully build it up to 3 plates over the next couple of months or so. Exercise 5 is the gym leg press. I was using the hammer strength. No, I wasn't. I was using the Cybex before. Because I've joined the boys, I've come on to the gym leg. I have to place my feet quite low, just so that the machine doesn't bottom out before I get to full depth. But I've just got to make sure I control it right at the bottom, just to make sure that I don't hit it. So that's why I use the back pad, just because obviously I'm a little bit of a shorty for most leg presses. But this definitely gets a whole lot of quad, but also a nice little bit of glute. It's pretty much like a squat, so it's really nice, but got really nice depth, really nice speed, and I actually got more weight and more reps than last week, so obviously the extra food is definitely doing the business. Moving on to RDLs, so this is the hip hinge of this session. Doing hip hinge every single leg day now. Until we get a little bit heavier, recovery is a little bit better, we'll then add an SLDL in here. We were using a trap bar as an RDL. You can't really get a great amount of range of motion because of the plates with how much you need to load it. So doing the RDLs here, and then we'll move over to SLDLs once we feel a little bit more comfortable under that load. RDLs. They're a movement that are butchered a lot. I do think that if you feel like the dumbbells feel a little bit clunky, just go and use a barbell or go and use a Smith. Because if you're not good at the movement and you can't brace effectively, because the dumbbells get so clunky, sometimes they are a little bit heavier. On this, you need to focus on keeping your tummy nice and tight, especially at the bottom of the rep. The movement needs to come from your hips driving back, so from hip extension, not from your chest dipping down towards the floor. If your chest dips down towards the floor, you're going to load your erectors more, which if you want to do an RDL for that, then that's fine. But if you want to use it more so for hamstrings and glutes with a little bit of an erector, you do want to make sure that you are leading with your hips. So that's how to do an RDL. Make sure everything stays locked tight, making sure that you're basically making a tabletop with your back at the bottom, and that will be a really sweet movement for you. That's the end of the leg day. So obviously my session went adductors, hamstring curl, leg extensions, hack squats, RDLs, hip thrusts, and then calves. And that's pretty much it. So basically when I do my hamstring and glute focus sessions, my RDLs and my hip thrusts come at the start of the sessions, and then kind of leg press, etc. comes towards the end. Obviously due to priority, given the fact that that is more hamstring and glute focused. So that's pretty much it. It's not science, but that's what works well for me. We will include more volume as I get a little bit heavier, just to maintain performance whilst I was on diet. That is why we reduce volume a little bit. Whereas now that obviously we are coming out of a diet, obviously able to push the performance higher through obviously having some more food, plus obviously being able to keep a little bit more volume in to aid with obviously my hair hypertrophy and obviously getting a little bit bigger. So that's pretty much why. Towards the back end of a prep, like what, 6 weeks out, doesn't matter if your volumes reduce a little. Obviously you're not really going to be building mass, you're not going to be obviously whacking more weight on the bar because you are going to be getting lean, and that's the first step in prep. But for the most part, we still aim to keep performance there because that's what's built the tissue, and obviously that's what's going to keep it as well. But that is the end of legs. Hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know if there's anything else that you'd like to see below from a training perspective.